Limbus Company. Yo, Affyxal here. We're gonna be playing. What's it called again? Intervallo. Yeah, there we go. Twinning Threads. I haven't really seen any of the teaser material and whatnot, so it's a blind playthrough. Oh, look at him. He looks like somebody from the Yakuza series. God damn. Wood, no condom. The LCE morgue. A funeral was held for A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seemed to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Marceau, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions for pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Hmm. Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instructions to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. She needed her phone. She needed, like, Subway Surfers to play. Hadn't every sinner here attended the funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Ah, thou speakest of the funeral held in young Cleves' manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died. Because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Affy Association's notarization otherwise. Oh no. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Ah, well, about that. We shall not speak her name in this. We do not speak of the dead. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? Oh, he's warming up to us. True. True. You don't have to carry this burden alone. It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. Not just that, everyone, this entire existence, she was erased completely. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bows had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it, not even Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there is something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over, every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put it? The circumstances of the funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will, uh, I assumed that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at the Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city, with how many people die every day. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time offs just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died. After one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that, swept away. Better than paying loads of money to bury them elsewhere just to have that stir a lot of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors. About there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, all that rot. Better to let dead go in peace than bury them in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. In Hongyan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Othis, what is that word? What is that word? Othois. Itios. Huh? Otius. What the hell is
Oshios.
Odios.
Oreos? Oreos? What is Oreos? That sounds like a cereal. Oreos? Are you fucking kidding me? Otios? Who made that word? I like your funny words, Magic Man. Oreos? Oh, Jesus. Comforting the soul of the departed. Another mendacity. These words. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? Whichever was truth, I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Eliza, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers. Oh, announcing the end of their existence with a crackle of firewood. They were burned. Oh, she's fine now. So I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh. We're staying until Gregor is stable enough to travel. Dante says he'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Ah. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Summoner's father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there is no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. Oh no. No. Oh, I forgot to read that. So you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Oh no. They're gonna do some tests. See what the hell was wrong with that. He traveled back in time, or no, he traveled in time and came back to be a certain Sinclair. Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation rather than a request for permission. What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Just a normal human experiment. Come on, Sinclair. We do this all the time. Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No, I'm not giving you my consent. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observable. Hmm. Sinclair, you're quite popular. Can I also send my enthusiastic request for research and observational purposes, you know? Can I also do that? Oh, you have no idea. We had to get boss to fend off the LCA's mirror world what? Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do is thank us and be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time, our researchers are here. Yeah, Sinclair, be a good boy and be our human guinea pig. Eliza waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Oh wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. They are going to absolutely demolish that bussy. All I could do now was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. He was about to distort. What about you? You not going with him? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by your department, or our department, will be rejected for the rest of the year. True. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. What? 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 Where are your labor laws? As soon as Eliza trudged off with her dragging steps, the researcher sees Sinclair and carried, really, him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also, to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Aw, that's sweet of you. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. The sinners fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. Yeah, they finally have free time. Well, you know, the sinners are recovering. Well, Gregor, basically. They get basically paid time off while being on clock. Oh, it's Ryoshu, puffing her cigarette. The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who'd been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, no! Who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixture's whereabouts. Well, gotta say, you know, she's really into it. She's not a LARPer, that's what we can tell. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air, probably consulting with the Jessel shaft. Is she accessing the Jessel shaft? Yeah, told it. The Discord server is always on. She's being berated right now. You seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There is something I had intended to discuss with you and Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKAOA? Yeah, what kind of assistance, says Clockhead. Wait a minute, did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she usually just snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whatever the issue came up. Whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause, as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering employees with her relentless questioning. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is the bearer of a hair fashioned in the likeness of a bull. Yeah, Koreans and their bull haircuts. You there, why don't you join us too? Eh? Dost thou speak of me? The LCCA personnel who were cornered by Don Quixote and her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon, the yellow piss. You must seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you to a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. That is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow piss, but no true knight would be abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to the Sinner 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this what kind of assistance eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Sinner Yoshu's. They are asking you what kind of assistance you need. That request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny your meddling, in the present circumstance, is a welcome one. It was simply an irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. They're still taking throws against each other. They're still throwing shots. That's so funny. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sinner 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? House of Spiders right away? You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help, Faust. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intentions to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along. Is it Marceau? Please tell me it's Marceau. Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. Anime style. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Oh no. Kira. She has regained consciousness. This is gonna be a hard sell. LCE, recovery ward. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the costs reasonable. Reasonable? Huh. Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. It's sterilized too. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. She looks so sad. Like the whimsy just fell off from her when her father supposedly cut her in half. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the sinner's shared vision. Hmm. Prisoner. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the process of extraction? It hasn't yet begun, actually. We are waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Then what you even doing here? There is work to be done, contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. To put you to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected game, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate any daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not after I kill a bazillion of your guys. True. Ah. So, you anticipated some form of a corporate level retaliatory response against your person. That's indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that unlike your typical backstreet syndicates such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from a apprentice of the Middle and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle, these two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. Ha! Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? That carry on about. Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through all the intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. True, sir, serums. What the hell? What the hell? What am I reading? Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks, and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. Huh. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. Dilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned toward the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too was rather a foolish thing to say. I will defer this to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with this child. This sassy little child. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone quite unexpectedly made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that, to aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. Idle sacrifice into thing in a family. Family. Coming from him? A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel? Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's thrown out. That fucker, Matthias, was a great bitch. Great brother. Great brother only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Oh, okay. I haven't been keeping up with the lore, alright? Don't judge me. But it seems like the House of Spiders, it literally was, as Rian put it, it was like a garbage dump where people wanted to throw away their like enemies, their like thoughts, all the things they want to be forgotten. Because Valentina, the thumb nurse father, she fucked up bad. That's why she wanted so hard. She fought so hard to keep her reputation, right? Or it wanted to get back her reputation by trying to capture Yoshihide, right? Ryoshu, right? So it seems like we're getting more context now. It seems like every single one of them was abandoned by their finger. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising, it's the ST for the bowl cut too. Same thing. Same taste? Oh, young Ryoshu, could it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for fix? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed in into the conversation. So what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. QC. Or CQ. Fuck. QC. Fucking. CQ. Or I'll sink. Right this instant. What does that mean? Offer it quietly. Or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. Oh, she's so happy. Snap your neck. Isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty axe straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. That actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshide, what's up with you talking in weird-ass abbreviations? Oh, she just lit. Like sink? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't even bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? To her, We're probably people she needs to settle a score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much after for this trade that she'd bite us? Besides, alright, her tattoos. Her tattoos, they were on her body, right? And then she got cut off and then she got reconstructed. So like half her tattoos are actually gone. Oh, she's less powerful. Oh, actually. Besides, no, better to hear from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's cause... Oh, that's cause Papa was weaker than y'all. Hmm. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded? Come, you'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. Ah, you won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Huh. Now then, let's head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. But we don't have Ishmael! Ah, man. Gregor is out. Well, okay. Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. Oh, every sculpture has been covered up. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hasn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Prithee, who might be those people thither be? Oh, W Corp? Looks like some shady bastards moving already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house back doors. Wayfarer Company? A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees also have taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember. The company vying to take over W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about the same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old Air Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free falling at this point. And these are the manager and the sinners of the LCB department, our field operators unit, frequently deployed to deal with the on site matters firsthand. You have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave us an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. That is the face that says that he will die within the next, like, 3 nodes. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalize on the suppression of the distortions at T Corp as levers to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh, T Corp staggering, ha ha ha, hardy har har. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion solving specialists to the public, but what's that product part about? The manager says that it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on their task, on this task. Oh, so you are the interpreter. In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Oh, bruh. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned her on her, but she nodded anyway. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He's referring to the monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to LCB and the express request of Mr. Hubert, T Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We reviewed the agreements. Now I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share my prior knowledge if you have share any prior knowledge you have about these back doors connect. As detailed as you can make of them, if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look, as though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in show of irritation. She still gave a sliver of information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo Unk in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but. Farm? Oh, it's a gathering material. No, not the gamer terms, bruh. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that? She'd come back and hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some back streets area. The back streets? Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. You're low-key genuinely pissing me off, bro. What? That's literally all I got, for real. For real? For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Ugh. Oh, she has shark teeth, look at that. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. He has Mang. It was so fast. It was enhanced. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? Ah. With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Hmm. Team leader Allen. That is our company property. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood there without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied from how Hohenheim handled the situation. He gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So freaking annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. Well, she can't. Her swords, they're like sheathed, you know? She can't even use it. That punch just now, though. What was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Oh, they probably used the portal. Used the portal to like punch. Oh, like that the one guy from Spider-Man, the holes guy. Probably that. Let us resume with the task at hand. Sinner Yoshu, give Manager Allen whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left, I remember, they were marked with an X painted with blood. But H and I, where they actually lead, it's all blurry. It seems that that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then, I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Senator Yoshu mentioned. You don't trust me at all, don't you? You don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Art thou joining as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. Yeah, we're in the ring. We're fucked. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? Uh-oh. The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out the room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermied animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit, the scale is just insane! That's the whale from 8th Association Great Lakes Special Issue. Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lake whale. It doesn't look like the one we encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. They almost look alive. They're not, right? No, they're not. Duh. Though Robo Unk did say that the ring has these zoos where they keep put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if you could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. Still looks crazy sick though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote? The eye of a secret. What? No. No, 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 no. Cannot afford to lose her. The eye of a second kindred of the House Tepes. What is it doing here? The mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. The opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that look as though they've been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism, probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. We're like balls deep. We are balls deep. Gang, I do not like this. We will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohem could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. No, that's the maestro. That's the maestro. We can tell because he's wearing like this big ass coat. Everybody else is wearing suits. No. Turning toward the sound of echoes clackling on the door, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. Oh no. That presence. It's kinda like Papa's. Ain't no way. That's not a raid voice we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. You must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a particular bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke out to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling, fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? Huh. You. Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling. Rings a bell? You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right. Emile Benoit. And am I even saying that right? I have no idea. Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse father's. Don't presume. I only remember you because of the tactility of hides and guts made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshu was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I had a feeling she was, in fact, dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence. Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members, and incensed glares sparkled by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, a time-consuming work. We can't expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A. Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote revolving her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of her gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Arayashiki. I was going to try and using it anyway. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling him that we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them, as if it was literally by their doorstep. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Ah! Faust is right. She and Hohenheim were geniuses, and Ryoshu is a wielder of Arayashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter. Uh, doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Leihang, and do as you did in Heathcliff's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow to secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, to catch them off guard while slowing down the flow of time. A cut from Arayashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from the students and docents. Docents, I don't know what that word means. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we are talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arayashiki makes it worth the cost. Ha! If you want to taste. Huh? Confusion flickered across Ryosho's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. Well, what's the matter? How? The lock. The House of Spiders used to bind Arayashiki no longer exists. So why? Why can't I draw the blade? So rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? The maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was close enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed. Oh, wait, no, it's. Noticed, didn't you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student, and they'll give you the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales, why it's lamentably disappointing. The maestro advanced toward us with an assured certainty, then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread. It felt much more disturbing. For I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine, linked like a chain, and the jaw, bound not by bone, but by the ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that. I admire your structural refinement. The thrice coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and the crack of flesh and bones assembling. Oh, what the hell is that? Which brings me to ask,
What better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake?
The maestro pulled her arm into the long serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that as the nurse father's, only more primal and untempered.
Gang, consider it a privilege. What the hell? This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider.
Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute to go. Step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. Whoa! As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurling motion. And the one who intercepted the blow shit was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her still sealed blade. Kira! Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit. This wasn't the plan at all. Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind in that quickly. Damn. Because of the look of her face couldn't be anything other than utter regret.
The middle. For someone who doesn't seem to be in a proper what? She's not a proper what? She has the colors, is she not? Oh my god. Is she actually not? Is that why there's a distinction between the syndicates and the houses? What? The middle. For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you're in quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Aha. You must be the new kit Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way?
Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it. They're definitely gonna dish me here. Why did they even? Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized. Ready. Lifting blades. Now, pow! Kia's thermal weapons emerged from her sheath with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The Maestros lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but... Tis a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of a badass form. A glimpse of the badass form that only the most refined or renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the Maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. Hey gang, watch this. She was instantly vaporized. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of Sinner 3. As Faust made her exit with the once was Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out from her lips. Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trailer right behind her through the door. Kira too seemed to have realized that the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat as she knew that full well the fate that awaited her. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking, diving in like that? You, don't just stand there. Get over here now.
Huh? But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I...
You, TTM. Want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay. Blocking the maestra's arm by her hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but lockdown sequence completed. All back door links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the maestro could cross over. Bowl cut. Think you could still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says, Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now. We're about to get freaky. As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices came through Hohenheim's radio one after the other. Huh? I guess so. Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever. Body and soul. Eh? Hang on, I just need to finish this fight. Everyone to me! Yeah, summon them! With this card, I summon Yugi! Okay, we gotta fight the furries. Feral Faust student of the ring. We gotta fight the furries. No. Alright. Bleed and sinking. Okay. Two of my favorite status effects to fight against. Thank you, Project Moon. Very cool. Bro, seriously? Ah, shit. What? What? 3 heads! 3 heads on a 0! Not cool! 3 heads on a 0! Whoa! 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 She got her ult! She's ulting! She's ulting! Pow! Look how she did that. She gave her moves like really anime sounding names. That's so fun. There we go. Easy. It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear, I thought that was it when we back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that. Cooked? We would have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust me, weirdos? We would have opened them all at the end of the day, just so you know. SD. SD? What's that? Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it as anticipated. That's WA. Huh? Good work, everyone. Wayfair does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 50%. This is, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with her fist to her face. Those Fauvists won't be able to cross over at them anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be assured with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf. The clock? And those Fauvist beasts have endured as long as a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've gotten that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Ryoshu was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely that they would follow on the House of Spiders so soon. Eh? They could always rush
for a surprise attack, though. Even that Fauvis Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place in the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation. Logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoors related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt any block and any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. Uh, that aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Ryoshu lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown, and that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering, most faint. It was seen by all, indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshu was talking about the scabbard. Hmm. Ryoshu's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? I doubt it. Ryoshu, do you... Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? She's just fangirling over her new weapon, her new scabbard. It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another experimentation of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Please, feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away too. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility then? No, that wouldn't be necessary. There's a facility here that should prove more quiet than adequate. Ah, okay. So if I'm getting this right, I think Araya was like, no, Araya was controlling the sheath of the sword. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, a row of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is the forward base constructed by Limbus Company, following Operation Spiderfire. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of possible future. Uh-oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and the group of researchers surrounding him. The same people who had dragged him off earlier. Oh, Sinclair! They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners. is that what a plural of sinners are right now? A gaggle of sinners? Why isn't it a hell of sinners, I think that would have been like a really nice touch. Or maybe a church of sinners. That would be fun. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took another breather after work. Hohenheim. How long will the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means that it should be finished in an hour from now, at the latest. The scabble... What? An hour? What is Araya trying... What did she... What is she telling us? Araya is talking. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed, almost like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. F. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get to Sinclair then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind the pillar caught my eye. Oh, it's the Yellow Piss! The Yellow Piss is here! It was Vespa Crabro. Crabro? Is that his name? That's his last name. There is a family lineage that is named Crabbo. You gotta be Crabro. Crabro, sorry. Crabro. It was the yellow piss with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped to his back. Snack thief? Ah, Collegia. No! Karen snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate all of them. So this is where she was hanging around. That's sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding. Verg, kick his ass. Embody ego. Now. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. And he's snacking still. He's still snacking. You heard that? You heard. Karen. Karen. Super sulky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day. Oh. Deploying super fast bitter candy. Beep beep. Mode disabled. I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It is a little inconvenient for me. She's so... She's so Karen, you know? And Virgilius is playing along too. Oh. You see, guys, this is why you should always respect your bus driver. Karen forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign of Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking off some of another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Oh, wait a minute. I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know, yet I can still see you gobbling up my share. He took my snack too, Verg. Kick his ass. Rodion. Rodion Roman. Full government name, bro. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses, and now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well. Chill, that toast's been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that, and this is this. Oh, every sleeper agent, activate now! The lines on Virgilius' brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him get out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. True, actually. I second that. Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable reference exists. At present, the researchers' effort is limited to reducing variables, such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. By individual bearing signs, do you mean people like Damien and Sanson? Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some super powered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonya? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Rodeo gets the blues. I don't think so, from what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, these layers of light rings Damien used to finish off Cromer, or Sanson dangling us from into his story. Those could be it. Aye, that does seem plausible. So none of that information we can confirm just yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion on this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wide speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would have been unnecessary response at present. Hmm. This is, at best, grounded in superstition. But it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Ah, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those singularities of the relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis can be validated. I see. Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway? No, Sinclair, baby girl, don't form it like that. Don't think of it like that, please. No, I mean, I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try to get along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think. Yeah, he's finally getting a backbone. He's finally getting a backbone. He's growing up. My little boy, my little twink is finally growing up. So, did anything happen that we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, a small skin sample, and and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Did they electrotherapy you? Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And yet your memories of that moment have yet to return. No, I don't know if they'll ever come back actually. Faust said they only exist with my future self, so. Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem. Hmm. In such a case, that Sinclair is merely one branch among the many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again, more of that nonsense only for you lot to understand. Oi, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? Then some part of him still got to be left in the somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull out some of those tricks from the back then. Tricks from back then? Heard you kicked off proper out there. Even pulled off that trick you picked up from that plastered old geezer, right? Not just that. He was using that Mang technique quite effortlessly too. What? That glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had two of them coiled around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? He used the glowing ring thing? This is the first I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what is it exactly is that glowing ring thingy? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura that makes you real tough's one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? Dunno. Could be a secret finger thing where they pass down to their members technique, gear, something like that. Look at it. That black coney leader, that lay hang prick, the nurse fathers we fought, the whole of them's finger, aren't they? Hmm. The notion seems to unravel for even amongst the LCD, those who came to wield it, and Virgilius too. Huh. So what? Only the proper hard bastards can use it. Some posh top end Rick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze towards Virgilius and Vespa. And he's still snacking, bro! I only learned to wield it from my team leader too. I have sensed an understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. Rumors? They all circulated among the elite, fixers, and association leadership. There exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor among fixers, sayest thou? Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How to tips? Really spread through hearsay. Damn. Is there a YouTube video for that shit? Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid, bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura farm. Oh no. Straight up aura farmed with the shiny mang wrapped around his weapon. Huh. So it must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue. Literally on the video in the back. Maybe you missed it? Video tape. Alas, for many a week I have been stranded from Mephi. Relieving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but one of the latest as well. Woe is me. When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut through the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the Mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it's used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader's been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strengthening itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. Huh. As the Yellow Piss says, it is, in essence, a power that can only be learned by almost anyone, provided that they know the proper method of training. Vespa's brows visibly twitched the moment the yellow harpoon left Virgilius' lips. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title, the yellow harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes. He uses a harpoon too, and he can he argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Sang's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? Well, cause you're the wimpiest one here. True. Don't let it get to you. Ah. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume that it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited.
unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful. Hey, what about me? Can I learn it too? Oh, that's cool. Her dad, I think it was her dad. The middle nurse father didn't want to learn Mang or Shin. I forgot which one. But it's interesting actually. Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any Shin or Mang. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that. It wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. He was a man who probably never had the chance to reflect upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Uh, Vespa's response always came back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, close to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Stepping out of line and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilius said that I could agree with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers and left us plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together, not contesting the decision that doesn't mean we have no hard feelings toward her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners step back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever happened around the LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshu returned. Okay, that's a lot to think about. I didn't even think about that the Matthias wasn't able to learn Mang or Shin, that's why he hates it so much. I thought it was always a pride thing. The House of Spiders forward base. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature, yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshu's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver almost as if it had taken offense. Oh, poor Araya. Somehow, I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable, and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances. What the hell? But in the terminology of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? Dante's also speechless. I have no idea what I just said. There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread. Oh, thread! thread! Something that could lead to restoring Shinryoshi's memories. Through again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters, that would be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he constructed in our conversation. His autism got the better of him. Alright, then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they'd been intently listening on our conversation. Where are we to go? Ah, right, sorry. Forget the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. We went through one back door. We went through one back door. Don't even pretend we went through different ones. Ah, Kira. Oh, and Kira, too. The prisoner of war, executive manager? We talking about me? Yeah, I guess I'm working with them too, yeah. Best to remember to thread carefully. Should you even cause the slightest harm to the executive manager, you'll be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatevs. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people just to be safe. One of the doors we went to earlier led straight to the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment they finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, executive manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Heh. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, my executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone your concern about the peril of working with the prisoner of war, so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command. This cannot stand, I'm afraid. I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. Better I stick on your side and scrap it out myself. Oh, they don't like the fact that I can just summon them whenever I want now. That's so funny. You probably didn't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. Yeah, wait, is that included in my Durante, like, thing? How many times can I do that, like, in lore? Because I can do it, like, once a day. A research, yet unfinished, holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. Haha, I don't think I can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. I will follow if that is your order, manager. Oh, Merso! Oh, no. We need Merso. We need Merso. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. No! Bring Merso! I want this autistic ass to come with me. Please! Ah, you've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated doors with the highest probability of leading into the ring's gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. True! Gatekeeping? Are you saying you have more to tell about gates and doors? Yep. That door over there, pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Avina going in, all hyped up in some canned whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle, Papa'd go in there to cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Unlike earlier when she only offered vague snippets, even about just a single door. Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid even to someone as clueless about the back door as me. She's far more cooperative than I anticipated, even after that Alan character roughed her up, from what I hear. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. I wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. Frickin', I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know? Alright, then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. If, safest doors, there's a combat encounter I have to fight. Oh, hell no. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking, and I'll let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Where did you guys want to go first? They look just about the same. Just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reached for the nearest door, as Heathcliff told me to, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door. It feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu... Oh. Everything... Oh. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory painted over in parts slipped into my mind. Oh no. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I... I should have finished my homeworks faster. Oh, I know. Let's go for a walk. But I don't recall much about it. That memory just now, could it be tied to Araya? No. No, it was her. Let's start with that door. Okay, this one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, he shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place is... Judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest. Most likely a park. A park somewhere. Every sod walking here dragging some animal along means they've got money to burn. Proper rich lots, this place. The walk, the past Ryoshu mentioned in her memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces click together, and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Aww. Not a puppy though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. It hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Aww. Yeah, he got that thing that was slowly going in, like digging itself inside it. Ah, no. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Wanna go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Sarah? Oh, oh, oh. He cheered up. There's this workshop Dad always visits. The door that's connected to a park. We can go right now. Excited. Ryoshu's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Verily, such gentleness does seem most unlike the young Ryoshu. Hey, Clock. Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? That's not as if I want to show them your memories. I don't have control over that. You know, it's not something I can control. Good game. Back at the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Which probably means... Why are you all staring at me? That's so random. What the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what? You guys are zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lindayo and Honggu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to Ryoshu. I guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound, thy companion of old, young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment, with a spiral driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal! How can such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru, in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room crying. You were? Not someone else? Who else? Oh, see, it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution, said he would give me a gift the next day. And what I received, oh no. No, they turned him into a knife. Something he called the Beastborn Blade. A Canto, oh yeah, it's a knife, that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way. I always knew there was something creepy with Robo Unk, so that's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Saru. The Tanto was alive. Did you just say alive? Bloody hell. A right nutter, that psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like ornaments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heartbeat, as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why do you still mess with that art thing then? Let's be honest, after seeing something like that, you'd want to steer clear well, yeah? Right? Those things he called artworks were also cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't really checked out the other ring artworks outside Delvina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that. But yeah, their stuff never really gave me all that art vibes for real. I felt the same. Well, I was terrified at first. Yet, as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations? From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible, there's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell. How'd you end up getting used to that kind of thing? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for. Rattle. The scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled. There was once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors. Crying from nightmares. In the House of Spiders? There was actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day? I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back. Yeah, let's. Nothing else worth checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. We're back in the corridor of the ring nurse father. She stood in front of the artworks, covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here. There used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Oh no. Oh no. Mommy? Oh, what's wrong? Over there. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Oh my god, I didn't realize those are hands. Huh. Very comforting. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshide. Yoshide. I decided to attempt an installation art of somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. Mommy,
People were screaming. Dearest Yoshide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem.
It would. You liking it and me acquiring my taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to your room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Saru? No, it's too big to be Saru. The lacerated memories can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryosho everything we knew about Araya, but it never truly reached her. I see. This hollow void. This must be Araya. The sensation and emotion for what's being emptied began to entangle with Ryosho's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out. But unfortunately, none of the places we ended up stirred Ryoshi's memories any further. Pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. Huh? What the? How'd they get in here? Oh, it's them. Alright. Startled, Kira pointed ahead where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of sorts. Those ring assailants from before. Didst thou not say thou hast sealed that door earlier? Then why do these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the nurse father's artworks. Get on with it! We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. Wait, but I thought Robo-Unk was washed. He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here. She thought he was washed. He got washed by Sinclair from a future. Does this artwork possess value in itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them, pretty funny. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name, or their description flex, pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will soon likely find cause to harm the Wayfarer or the LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It will be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Oh, this is right. Better to wipe them out before they try anything stupid. Guys, looks like we got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with the student's replies this time, but it should be fine. Oh no. They probably cut off the radio. Goddamn. Alright. Another level to win rate. Don't mind if I do.
느낄 수 있겠죠.
With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? Ryosho kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but fortunately, no other ring members were in sight. Right, but where the hell did those lot come from anyway? Weren't they just the first wave? Had more of the suds legging it from the back like they'd been lurking somewhere else? According to the tracking logs recorded with the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does that designation, another corridor, refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall correctly, designated it as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh no! Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? You're planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. What? Your cooperation would be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as if she was going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she'd just locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you. Like, hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough, though. I mean, it was a home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as a home, and my memories of it are all fragments at best. The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could. And accompanied by its tremors, we began our move toward the corridor of the middle. More lore. Was she homeschooled or something? The heck? They swept everything that wasn't nailed down, huh? Fret not, I espy thither half of thy worldly possessions, articulated fixer figurines, video game cartridges. I'm not talking about my toy box, Kay. I had hella many of them anyway. My TV's gone. The couch, too. Aww. As Hira said, only a copious empty space was left where the television and family couch set used to be. Oh, those? LCE researchers hauled them away. From the sound of it, they're going to set them up in their staff lounge. As for the leather and the ornaments, they'd said they'd be selling them off. Yeah? Otis seemed to notice there something the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. The corners of her lips curled into a faint smile as she spoke with feigned nonchalance. Who knows? With sufficient cooperation, perhaps they'd become more receptive to the idea of returning those items. Assuming much? I never said I wanted them back. Anyway, I'll tell you about the stuff I know, so come this way if you want in. Those two doors here, made from paper and wood, they connect to S Corp. That one reinforced with steel, that one leads to V Corp, back streets, where... Having lived here and made frequent use of the doors herself, Kira was clearly the right person for the job, identifying where each doorway for her company had asked us to explore led. Directed by Kira and accompanied by Alan, we checked the doors one by one. Good work. All data seems to match. Thank you for your cooperation. Until there was just one back door left to open. I know this isn't anything new, but I gotta say, these back doors are just too bloody convenient. Them portals, too. Ain't doing stuff shady like the warp trades either, is it? Yours is as simple as turning the knob and entering it. Seems to me you'll outpace your business rival in no time. I'm a bit hard-pressed to agree with the too convenient sentiment when it comes to using backdoors and portals, but since your intent was to claim Wayfarer's superiority over the current W Corp, I'll take that as a compliment. Did I say something wrong? Every technology comes with a cost, Heathcliff. Aptly said. Well, this has been a workday relatively free of casualties thanks to the quality of information you provided. Do you understand that Wayfarer Company's primary services include pathfinding, path security, and path maintenance? Each of those services is fraught with life-threatening dangers for our employees. Some never return after embarking on a path-finding journey. Some are killed while battling monstrous entities, whose exact natures haven't even been confirmed yet, that appear in the liminal space between paths. It also costs a pretty penny to keep the secured path, well, secure. I'd say our operating cost is on the rather steep side, especially considering that we are also trying to prevent our rivals from taking this corner of the market. Thinking back, I don't think I've ever seen Alan enter a door to a new location with his helmet off. It must be one of his precautions, just in case. Maybe his dry smile and unsettling lack of reaction to anything, or hints that he'd simply seen too much to be fazed by the most horrors. Still, our work's still gotten considerably easier for this job thanks to the help from everyone here. Honestly, this partnership is working much better than I expected. Very well then, let's take a look at the last door. That's the door Papa used to walk through all the time. I followed Kira into the door, and the second I crossed over the threshold, the breeze carrying an oddly familiar, salty smell tickled up my... no, well, one of my clock hands. This one connects to somewhere in the general Great Lake area, it seems. Welcome to U-Corp's giant Stingray port ship. Stingray, huh? Why does that ring a bell? Hang on a minute, is that... it's that place, in it? That port ship at the Salon de Molieu, the private hair salon. No wonder you were included in the story, Heathcliff. You stole this shit. The fucking coupon! Oh, hell no. Heathcliff chimed in with a shudder. as though the sheer weight behind his words terrified him. Ooh, does that signify then that we shall finally be made an audience to young Heathcliff and his most hairdo most luscious? Ah, quit with the luscious nonsense, lass. Why encourage me now when you were so cavalier about blasting my villainous arse back at the lake? Hmm, indeed, alas. 'Tis true that punishment wrought upon our merry band has severely outweighed the crime. Wouldn't thou not agree, young Heathcliff, that to put the coupons to use would remedy thy pain a smidge? Ah, bugger it. I ain't even got anyone to spruce up for anymore. Sweet. Then, can I use him? We were regulars at the Maluyu place, Papa and me. Papa would ask the middle fam for a favor, and he'd bring loads of coupons back home. They'd give away a hair coupon every 10 visits, you see, so what am I even yapping about, all excited? Kira, who'd seemed ready to launch into a cheerful rant, came to an abrupt pause, like a bike tripping over a ledge. Her face fell as she lowered her gaze and scuffed a pebble away. Looking back, I guess Papa did hella care for me, so I... But it's also true these guys went out of their way to get me out of there, even though they didn't know me so well. Why is it gotta be so complicated? Matthias gave you that unesthetic BC. The heck's a BC? Bowl cut. Bro, listen, like I said, it's not how you shorten... Bro, listen, like I said, that's not how you shorten these things. For some reason, Ryosho seemed almost gleeful to hear Kira correcting her acronym. It was reminiscent of that self-satisfied look she'd get after confusing us with these acronyms, especially during the early days of our bus's journey. Aww, she's gonna be the surrogate child for this intervalo. Thinking back, ever since Sinclair's translations became reliable enough, the sinners had less reason to voice their frustrations with Ryoshi's acronyms, which in turn gave her fewer causes to snicker about. I'm not sure why, but something tells me that she might be making her acronyms ridiculously incomprehensible on purpose. The actual rage bait. She's rage baiting Kira. If your conjecture is correct, Executive Manager, she has one tasteless sense of humor. From what I recall, the toys and games he was into were pretty retro. Must have been annoying to play along. At first, the more I played along, the more I got into it. Still corny and juvenile as shit though. I know aught of that conflict within the trifling and the apocryphal, what the hell? Trifling, apocryphal they may be, yet we are all compelled to peer kind words at the interest of the family. Yeah, I wanted to know what Papa was into, to really get what he was talking about. Besides, I needed to know these things if I wanted to chat them up and talk about a mutual subject, so... He'd tell me about you all the time, Yoshide. Proud shit. Not a day went by without him saying stuff like, Yoshide learned this in 2 days, or, yo, this was Yoshide's fave, you know? Too bad I wasn't here to tell you that his words weren't worth shit. I once thought of him as the same as you do now. A good man, at least among the nurse fathers, caring enough to bring me gifts. But one day, I realized that he'd never understood the things I really cared about, even if his life had depended on it. One day, thou sayest, pray tell, was there aught that had changed thy perception of that man? That I don't remember why or when, just that it happened. Wait, I might know this. Wasn't it something to do at school? Papa told me that things started getting awkward between you and him ever since you quit school. Bullshit, I've never been to school. I'd never even thought of wanting to go to school. Matthias must have been talking out of his ass again. Huh? No way. Bro, I even saw a clip of it. It was clipped. Papa showed me that video when he was teaching me on how to use these doors. I even saw baby you going, I'm off to school, dad, in that video. So I'm pretty dang sure. But I don't. As Kira went on, Ryoshi's confidence in her initial retort seemed to slip away. I couldn't blame her. So much of her memory had been mutilated. Ryosha didn't sound like she was denying it out of hand, though. She seemed to mean it when she said she'd never been to school and had never even wanted to. Ah, and here we go again. Memory. And I want to glimpse that fragment of memory that made her say that. The moment I willed it, a scene from her past suddenly flashed across my eyes. Very well, Yoshide. I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. There is a blank, a subsidiary of the ring. Academy. You sure it was a school? Not like an art academy or something like it? Wait, that kind of makes more sense, yeah. Must have been an academy, not a school. Huh. Academy of Art. Ha. Ryoshu muttered a few words as though they were pieces of the puzzle she was assembling. Then, after a brief moment, she turned towards me with an astounded scoff and the look of mild irritation. Clock. You deserve a smack. Ah, my god. Slapped my balls. Then lightly smacked me upside the head with her scabbard. What was that for? This memory sucks, Clock. I would have been just fine without it. But at least I got to remember the incident that changed my perspective on Matthias. Dad, how do I go to a school? School, Yoshide? Well, I don't see why you would wish, let alone need to go to such an institution, where we nurse fathers are here to provide you with all the education you require. You would later find your unique style of homeschooling to have been much more enlightening than trudging through any of the nest's formulaic educational systems. But, but Dad, I saw him in a picture book, and I don't have any friends here. Oh, Rien is pointless. But it is true that there are qualities that can be learned only through a group erudition that engenders competition. Very well, Yoshide. I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. Really? I intend to send Yoshide to an academy as part of my educational curriculum. There is an Academy of Art, a subsidiary of the Ring. Companionship with other talented children of approximately her age will nourish the spirit of inspiration that will guide Yoshihide's growth. Hmm. The prescript approves. But Callisto, I'll tell you now that you might be making a mistake. Bro, shut up. The prescript says yes. Just let it go, bro. And how are you certain of that? Do elaborate if you can. Hand puppet of the prescripts by whom every aspect of existence is articulated. What do you even know of choice, of what is right or wrong? And off they went. Perhaps a little more situational awareness would have prevented what is to come. Callisto had found me a rather decent academy. The artworks that used to scare me when I was alone weren't so bad when I was with other kids. No, that's not quite it. It'd be more accurate to say that I started to understand people's perspective on beauty. Of course, I would, when all we ever did was nod along to the lectures and spout purple prose, and all while making pincushions out of people's bodies like it was nothing. Our lesson today will focus on corporist techniques. Now, take a good look at the diagram here. Then the mannequins before you. Weave the blood vessels in the same pattern as the diagram, and I don't know why we're even learning about corporate stuff in this day and age. Right? I don't get what the point of this slog is. Typing and shaping blood vessels to make a color that a drop of ink can do better. I read that in a book. I'm more excited to learn about Cubist technique than this crap. Honestly, why is this washed up movement even part of a curriculum? It's just boring, shallow gore stuff. No, it's gory, but it's boring and shallow only because you guys are bad at it. What? Oh, you mad because your daddy's a lame corporist? Oh, is he? No wonder his stuff is just ow! I was taught that people who say bad things about my family deserve to get their butt kicked. Them bad mouthing Callisto wasn't actually what set me off. I didn't have any special reverence for attachment to family like Matthias did either. It's just what I was taught to dislike, that's all. Just one of those tantrums kids that of that age have. Kids will be kids and all that. I'm home, Dad. Hey, buddy, you're home early. Oh man, must have been playing rough today, huh? You got dust all over. Got into a fight. A fight? Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, they kept saying dumb things about classes and stuff, so I smacked them. What about you? They didn't hit you anywhere, did they, buddy? Don't do what I think you're gonna do. On my cheek, but it's okay, because I punched them this many more times. Did I do good? That's my girl.
Dad? Where are you going?
Oh, just got some business to take care of. No! 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 Why don't you sit tight and work on a coloring book? That'll be home before you know it.
Okay. Is it bro business?
No, it's family business. Oh no. I ain't see what's so bad about taking care of your own. Them snotty... Them snotty sods don't learn respect unless you beat it into them. If only he'd been a simple-minded fool like you, then the story would have ended right there with a pat on my head. What? Papa, I mean, the middle doesn't stop there. It never does. You hurt a member of the family. That automatically gets you written up in the book. Yeah, and he did what he did in the end. Oh! Huh? Oh no. Damn. There you are, Yoshide. Is class starting already? My diligent little girl. Wonder who she takes after.
Dad?
I know, I know. I said I'll be back before you know it, but I got a bit lost trying to find my way back through the ring bastards' tricky mazes. You know how they are. Oh yeah, and there's so many sniveling brats here. Well, as for their crimes, they slapped my buddy's face hard enough to leave a mark. That's an arm for you. As for the instructors, well, anyone will agree that they did one sorry job of keeping these tykes under control. In that case, pursuant to Title 2, Section 52 of the book, execution by beheading, they clearly don't get much use for what sits on their shoulders, huh? Uh, uh. How'd you like it, buddy? Papa's the best, ain't he? How dare he? Such senseless barbaric violence! Uncultured, uncivilized animal! Do not be discouraged, dearest Yoshide. I have eyed out yet another academy worth of your talents. It is a much more significant and prestigious institution this time. I assure you, even an intemperate berserker like Matthias wouldn't dare force his way into such a place as he did the previous academy.
Don't wanna.
Yoshide?
I don't wanna go to an academy. I don't wanna go. I don't need friends anyway.
For all his posturing, nothing that was ever important to me held any significance to Matthias. He took a lot away from me, just to feel good about himself. So I hoped he, more than anyone, would never find out about the things I held dear, because I was afraid he would take them away from me like he did the others. But he'd always catch on faster than he'd had any right to. Every contract that took me away from the House of Spiders made me tremble in anxiety. Because I was worried about... I don't remember what. But I do know that I could never stop thinking about my room. So whatever occupied the room in my absence must have been the most precious thing to me in the world. The scabbard, which had been stirring lightly as Ryoshu recounted her past, soon began to rattle audibly. It's doing that thing again. Ryoshu patted the scabbard with a gentle, reassuring hand. Aww. The scabbard that was once a Raya, a memory without attachment. It appeared to me almost as though she was pacifying a crying child. Huh. Seeing that gesture, Heathcliff briefly cast a sullen yet faintly expectant gaze between Ryoshu's scabbard and my device. He must be thinking back to his last conversation with Catherine. But Catherine's existence, unlike Araya's, was erased by the golden bow itself. I doubt this device could do anything for Heathcliff at this point. From everything we know, the Ringner's father seems to have been the least awful parental figure in your childhood. Huh? Yeah. Didn't know that Robert Unk was such a radical guy. He sent you to an academy like you wanted, and even got angry on your behalf. Oh. Hazy memories, almost forgot to mention. A few days after that, Callisto left a snowman by my pillow as a gift. It was made of heads. Heads? Yes, decapitated heads from the incident at the academy, threaded together into a sculpture. Thinking back, it was one sorry excuse for an art. He's sorely mistaking it if he thought some low effort bullshit like that could make me feel better. I mean, at least he tried. Could have spared us the details last. Well, you know, dead instructors and students, they kinda, you know. Oh wait, sorry, my bad, I didn't read that. Well, with that one covered, do you guys want to head back? Hang on. What's up? Gonna get that luscious treatment before heading back? Shut it, you. That ain't it. Look there. Those blokes walking out of the salon. Oh, what are they doing here? Fauvists, ain't they? They found us. It would not be odd to find a field branch of the Ring's art movement in different districts of the city, especially that of the Fauvist scale. However, various evidence such as their mask and the fact that their group has immediately drawn their attention suggest that they are in the same pack as the one making the regular incursions into the House of Spiders. This is LCB speaking to the team leader Alan, requesting immediate commencement of lockdown sequence. Copy that. Then why don't we... Holy shit, guys, stop. Bloody hell, what? Don't you know where you are? You're smack dab in the middle protected turf. Cause a scene and bros and sisters of the middle will be here any second. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. We've already drawn the Ring's unwanted attention. We certainly don't want the middle coming after us to the House of Spiders too. Sounds like you've got the GI. Talk. Good idea. Ever played Whack-A-Mole? Like, why give ourselves a countdown? Just head back through the door now and beat up whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk in to the door. She puts forth a sound strategy, Executive Manager. As long as there's no high-ranking officer among them, it will be to our benefit. Well then, let's do as Kira says. That was quick. Alan blinked, shooting us a puzzled look as her entire squad came pouring through the door, long before he finished the lockdown sequence. Due to newly emergent complications past the door, we have concluded that this location is the optimal point to intercept and engage the infiltrators from the Ring. This location, you say? Ah, wait, that door leads to a zone under a Syndicator's wing's protection, doesn't it? Better idea to fight here then. Happy to work with someone quick on the uptick. It wasn't long before Faust began rushing in through the open door. I didn't want to summon them while they were relaxing, but, well, can't be helped. And I summoned the sinners back to work. I wonder what they're feeling though, when we're just, like, calling them to action and shit. Imagine Yi Sang just doing his like research and stuff, and then he just keeps going in and out of consciousness, just hitting his head on the desk because we keep summoning them. That's funny. That's funny to think about.
느낄 수 있겠죠.
Okay, and that about wraps up the middle's corridor. Thanks to you folks, we managed to cut the door cataloging workload by 80%. I really appreciate everyone going the extra mile to check in each and every door too. Made my life a whole lot easier. It's all thanks to the manager's excellent strategization. Next up, the thumbs corridor. But we actually found a lot of intel lying around here, so we just need you to check some of the doors in its basement. Intel? The manager expressed interest in the aforementioned intel. Ah, that. In the Thumbs corridor, we came across a bundle of papers detailing the comings and goings of the Thumbs members and the orders they were carrying. Whoever wrote the log has been diligently keeping them updated. The last entry was written not so long ago. Oh, it was Lucio who was noting them down. While the contents of the notes weren't all that interesting, they helped us get an idea of where each door in that corridor leads to. Valentina's shitty scrap papers. She'd been keeping up with all that useless shit this whole time. Huh. Useless shit? Huh. Remnants of her desperate search for a thread to cling to. You found one of her backup ticket hoards. I've marked any doors that need work with the drone. There should be about 3 or 4 of them. While you guys do that, I've got some leftover work to take care of over here, so... I've been noticing this throughout our interactions. But whenever anything irrelevant to his work came up, Alan seemed to have a way of unhearing and maneuvering right past it as though he didn't even register what was said. Recalling our conversation with Cesara back at P Corp, oh, the big thigh woman, yeah, I remember her. That deeply uncurious indifference might just be one of the essential personality traits to go on as a corporate employee in the city. Understood. We will explore the areas past the marked doors and return here. Thanks a ton. Well then. With Alan returning to where the other Wayfarer Company employees were huddled around, we decided to follow the corridor to the left. Oh, this was the crumbling corridor. It was where they fought Gregor. Hey, there's someone in there. More of the ring, maybe? Going by their silhouettes, they're unlikely to be members of the ring. Come on, lady, get out of my way so I can see. It's the detective. Some stubbly guy I don't know, and that annoyingly airy dude. Sounds like Moses, Gregor, and Hong Lu, respectively? Oh! He's up! He's up! The trio's conversation grew clearer the closer I approached them. You okay, fella? You bumped your head earlier. Fine as a fiddle. It was just a minor fall. This is the 3rd time it's occurred. We ought to discuss this issue with the manager once this consultation is over. I think I'm seeing a bump on the side of Hong Lu's head. Anyways, you know what to do, right? If at any moment you see signs of... Don't worry, Gregor. You made it through the explanation and the footage both. You're going to be fine again. I believe in you. Look at you now. We're right where it happened, but your arm is stable, see? Ironically, fear tends to grow most unmitigated when it is distant and unseen. I understand what you might be worried about, but I don't even see the earliest portents of it. So don't hesitate to share the unfiltered thoughts that arise while you're here. I know what I saw in the footage, but I'm still having a hard time believing it. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm just avoiding the truth when it's staring me right at the face. My case is nothing like Don Quixote's. She just needs to keep her shoes on. It's all good and dandy for her, isn't it? Things don't work out that way for me. Whatever they're talking about sounds hella deep, guys. You sure about eavesdropping on him like this? That geezer's really cagey about himself. Maybe now's our chance to learn more about him. He's sharing such an IS about himself for once. Why walk away? Interesting side. I just clocked that in interesting side. Goddamn. Okay. Don Quixote gives a nonsensical interpretation of Ryoshi's acronym as Kira rolls her eyes out of exasperation. Between the bickering sinners and Kira, however, Otis stands in silence with an inscrutable look on her face. She's listening to the exchange between Moses and Gregor with like a woman possessed. Okay, let's keep listening then. Otis was right. Damn it, she was right all along. The war isn't over. It never was. It can't be over as long as this fucking joke of a gift stays attached to my arm. Barred words. Now let's revisit the question you couldn't answer while the footage was playing. Hopefully it becomes easier to answer now. You've been using that arm to fight just fine so far. How? I don't mind fighting hostiles or enemies. I'm not the kind of person who worries about people trying to kill me. But killing my comrades, that changes things, doesn't it? I can't even control it. There's nothing I can do to even brace for it. It It's unstoppable. Like some kind of time bomb counting to unleash a disease you never know when its symptoms will set off. Even Heathcliff, who was always the first to step up when people began to spiral into self-hatred, stood in conflicted silence, his lips drawing a hard straight line. Besides, Gregor wasn't wrong in that. At present, there wasn't any way to stop his transformation should it occur again. We still got a good chunk of the journey left, and eventually, we'll have to... No matter what lurks in the past of us sinners, even if they have killed hundreds, thousands, no, tens of thousands of innocent people, will you still embrace them? We'll eventually have to confront an even darker, bleaker truth of the war. Can I really trust Gregor not to crumble under that inevitable pressure?
I see.
You're afraid you'll end up hurting us. Well, that's... At first, I thought I couldn't give a hoot about whether or not I accidentally murdered some of you.
That's a bit saddening to hear that.
He says with a smile. You know how it is, Honglu. We, the bus team, didn't exactly get off to a rocking good start. But through our journey, I've begun to think of you all as my comrades. And I was okay with that because I had too much faith in my own weakness. When I realized that I'd grown so weak that I couldn't even take down some backstreet thug with this arm, I was relieved. Imagine that. The same arm, my arm, a weapon that stabbed the heart out of countless people during the smoke war. I'll be honest, when that Hohenheim fella said I was an exception, that thought alone made me hope. Exception. A potential to be harmless, weaker than even a non-combatant like Wei Sang, made me hope for a life that didn't sound so bad. We all know how that went though, don't we? Blew up in the worst possible way. After all that, I just couldn't bring myself to fight again, because I no longer know when this fear would eat me up again. Because I'm constantly afraid of this damn gift manifesting again. The same fear you've carried all this time. How did you endure it before? Badly. Barely. Holding on to the idea that living's got to live on, nothing else. This really brings me back years. The memories are so clear, it's like they all happened yesterday. Suddenly, one day... best you kick me off the bus before push comes to. That can't be the answer, Gregor. You can walk away, but the danger of our journey won't leave with you. Dante and the rest of us will still be facing an endless repeat of peril. And it's not like leaving the bus will bring peace to your heart. Our deaths can be reversed should an accident occur, even if it comes to the cost of Dante's suffering. The same can't be said for most people in the city. Huh. Now that's something I never expected to hear from you. I guess you're right. If we're seeing this through to any kind of end, this would be the place to do so. Not many places in the city have some warmth to them like this one does. Boy, this consultation thing's pretty embarrassing. I mean, it's not like I was forced to go through something as traumatizing as yours, Honglu. Truth be told, I'm not some special case. Everyone who participated in that war must have gone through more or less the same experience. Miss Moses, Otis, and even Valentina. That piece of work. We can't attach a number to our misfortunes, as if they're something to be measured. When I fled from my past, I tried my hardest to avert my eyes from it. But you, Gregor, you're not like me. Every few steps that distance you from your past, you'd come to a pause to spare a look toward the path you had walked. All those years I let slip by, all those that slipped you by, are dotted with fathoms of suffering that are both ineffable and beyond measure. Different experiences, different pain. Still, if there's one thing common to everyone, it's that trauma leaves after effects that linger on for a long time. What's yours? I dislike loud noises and people who talk too much. They sound too much like the cacophony of the war, like screaming comrades who resented me even as they lay dying, and the wounds they left in my heart bled me dry. But I thought you were fond of Miss Ezra. Miss Moses. I've talked too much. That aside, haven't you heard your fill? Might as well come out from that corner you're hiding in. Aw man, they knew we've been dropping eaves this whole time. I was actually waiting for just the right time to come out and say a few words, but I couldn't find the appropriate time to. Ah, well. I would have had to share this with the manager, but for the rest of you fellas sooner or later. So I don't really mind, but what's she doing here? T.A. Temporary ally? No. Temporary accompaniment. Don't be an asshole. I'm working my ass off to help you guys. Please don't make your acquaintance. You're right on time. I've been working on a theory, but I don't have all the clues to be absolutely certain. A word from someone in the know may immensely improve my confidence in the theory. Kira, do you know which door the thumb nurse father was most attached to? Huh? No, duh. Duh? That's supposed to be obvious? Didn't you guys all see her? You think I just chat up a scary lady like that? Dude, she was beating the ever-loving shit out of Lucio every time I saw them together. Oh yeah, he went down fighting you guys to the end, huh? Yeah, said stuff about her generosity and all that, and fought till he died. Damn, that's unexpected. Being real for a sec here, I thought he was totally gonna swap sides. Really? That lad? And why is that? You know, the vibes. You guys don't know because you haven't seen him long enough without the scary lady always looming over him. Oh, we got Lucio. We got Lucio backstory. Hold on. What's up? Gonna stab her right in the spine? What's who starts up a conversation like that? What's up? Gonna stab her right in the spine? You. Look, I think you might be training wrong because, like, you're not improving as much as you should from all that grind. Let me show you what I learned about sword swings and about this comic book. That is not how my master has instructed me. The textbook cannot be permitted to even have a single deviation if it means to repay the debt it owes her. Why are you so obsessed with all that crap anyway? You don't even like that old lady. He stays silent. But you're not so different from me in that regard, are you? Bro, the hell are you talking about? I love my papa. Seriously, I thought things were gonna crash and burn before Yoshida even came home. Huh. Suppose textbook and I had that in common. If this one doesn't know, then let me redirect that question towards you, Sinner Ryoshu. Hopefully this touches upon one of your more intact memories. Do you know which of these doors the Thunder's father showed a particular attachment to, or the door she used most often? Why ask me? Fine, yes I do remember. Don't even need Clock's help to piece it back together. It's that one. The one that's been staring at us the whole time. The door with metal pieces dangling from it. Holy shit, I almost just died out there. Son of a bitch, a fucking fly. Where did those G-Corp fucks even drag those gross pests from? Mom? Are you okay? Do I look okay to you, Ticket? No, not really. I'm fine. You know I don't break easy. You should have been there to see me tear the head off that G-Corp vermin, Ticket. But Mom, your leg's bleeding a lot. Just... Here comes another mission. Boy, they really can't do shit without me, huh? So much for a break. The fuck is this? Bandages. For you. Is this kid serious? They've got truckloads of expensive treatments on the ready to patch me up the moment I get back to feel. Okay, never mind that. Hey, this works. Mom? Sit tight and don't start any trouble. I'll teach you some sword techniques when I'm back. Must have been her years in the smoke war. Yeah. Fighting the war took a lot out of her and left her perpetually exhausted. But she marched into every battle with a smile. Stopped drinking, stopped beating me too. Like a blissful idiot who forgot that she was still neck deep in the inescapable pit called the House of Spiders. Well, the ironic peace didn't last. Sometime after the war ended, someone called the consigliere of the Thumb and visited the House of Spiders as a tutor. And that's when she went right back to drinking herself into a shit-faced stupor day after day. The beatings returned, and so did the edge in her profanities. It was pathetic. Hold on. Why though? Sure, I was on the losing side, but wasn't Valencina on the winning side? A war hero, all that? Ever heard of the regulation that prevents Smoke War participants from moving into I Corp and A Corp nests? What? Huh. The common thread between these post war rules is that they make the lives of the veterans difficult. Dubious rules that don't discriminate between winners and losers. I see. There must have been things going on behind the scenes there too. But doesn't that mean that back door will drop us into a trench they dug during the war? Yes, and Gregor will be the one to open it. Huh? Me? Yes. The others can do it for you, but what would be the point? You sure this won't just end up giving him more nightmares? I don't see how this helps him in any way. We do not have any means to treat whatever it is that slumbers within his arm. However, I would surmise that the underlying cause of his sudden transformation wasn't the arm itself. Then, what? It's trauma. His arm took control after his psyche was crushed by the weight of the unspeakable memories coming back to haunt him. It's not because the arm went berserk that he started reliving his painful past, it's the other way around, isn't that so? If you can come to understand that the war is really over, and that what others say, no matter how closely they echo to the past, is not necessarily aimed at you, then you may be able to loosen your grip on the fear and anxiety that your arm could metamorphose at any moment. While her suggestion may seem blunt, it is one of the most basic treatment principles of MCOR's psychotherapy centers. Fine then. Guess I'll open it up. Gregor walked up to the door, grabbed its handle, then paused, taking slow, deep breaths. And with one arm, he gently opened the door. Why are you running? You should be taking the lead on the front lines with our G Corp banner held high.
I don't want to die. No! No! It's nice to have a place to go back to. No, why did you include her? No! Oh, her mom, his mom. Alright, happy 15th birthday.
But you can't possibly have a cheek to call me cruel. You G Corp pests were far more messed up than I ever was. Ripping people apart, cannibalizing them. You are nothing but a swarm of fucked up monsters. I thought I'd woke him up from the dream. But I was still... An office building somewhere. This place... Eh? It's just a boring old office. I was kinda ready to be shocked, thinking we were about to walk into a war zone or something. You recognize this place? Of course I do. My last job before Limbus Company. And my desk was over there. Here's a tip, fellas. When you're working in an office like this, always get a corner desk facing the wall if you can help it. Lets you hide from the boss man. Out of sight, out of mind, you know? You can do whatever you want that way. Work, chill, or even freak out in terror at the slightest sound of metal clinking. Nobody will catch you. Nobody will ever think you're a bother to other people. Gregor grins, a bitter, mocking smile directed at himself. The only downside of his desk arrangement being people walking up behind me to get my attention. Higher-ups just had to holler, "Hey, vet hire!" and I'd scuttle right to them, but others can't do that. So whenever people walked up to me from behind, I'd get afraid that I might cause an accident. Vet hire. Must be about the post-war veteran special employment. Right. But I couldn't possibly complain. Wouldn't have gotten that job without it, you know? Not everyone was lucky enough to be considered for that. I was better off than most. Gregor? Head manager Ted? Gregor whipped around, his hand instinctively leaping to his other arm. And there was an unfamiliar man in a clean suit standing behind us. Oh. It really is you, Gregor. And I see some new faces with you. Oh, wait. Oh, you folks must be the account that the guys on the other team asked us to leave the meeting room open for. Landed a new job, huh? I see you've got a new employee card right here. So, how have you been doing? Me? Same old, same old. Well enough, it's not like I got anywhere else to go, right? I'm not surprised you found new work so soon. You're always a dependable guy. Is the pay good? How's life, man? Oh yeah, you were gonna sell that commemorative coin. Some kind of medal, right? Hope you got paid good money for that. Oh, that was Gregor's? That ego gift? God damn, okay. Look at me. Asking, how's life to a fellow citizen? Can't imagine anyone would have anything good to say to that, huh? Moving on. Hope no one's handing you with the vet hire shit over there. No, not at all. There's none of that here. Hey, that's good to hear. Man, glad you don't have to deal with that dang exec VP messing with you like he was a war veteran himself. You know how many years I had to hear that geezer bragging about how he profiteered from the war, pulling himself up by his bootstraps, and how in every peril is an opportunity waiting to be found, blah blah blah. I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? That guy, huh? Is he still taking his sauna breaks during work hours? What do you think? His seat misses his ass every day. Oh, and get this. Remember how he used to call you special employment fellows Nepo Force? Nepo Force? A few days ago, his name showed up in the HR report. Guess what it said? Turns out he was lining his pockets with kickbacks when we were choosing the fixer office for a partnership project. There's about to be a vacancy in his office real soon. Really? Isn't he, an actual Nepo? I thought he's the president's family. Yeah, man. It's that bad. It's what anyone ever talks about by the water cooler. If there's anything I learned here, it's that people obsessed with back in my days are all kinda like him. They hate how their glory days are behind them, kinda like a distraction from how pathetic they are now. Huh. And hey, a backstreets kid like myself don't have glory days to look back on and yearn for, right? I look back and it's all doom and gloom. If I ever hit rock bottom, you always know the only way left to go is up. You said something like that before, yeah. Yeah? Guess it's my own brand of bullshit philosophy. Oh boy, look at me, running my mouth in front of your customers. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, don't worry about it. Eh? It's a pretty unique prosthesis you got there. No worries, but it seemed like you were on your way to submit those proposals. Gee golly, I'm late. Thank you for snapping me out of it. I'm gonna go get one heck of a scolding. Anyways, Gregor, hit me up sometime, eh? Let's go out and catch up over a drink or something. Sure, if I get the chance. Damn, that's a coincidence. The man who seemed like Gregor's former coworker hurried away, but he didn't forget to wave us a good-natured goodbye. I can see a little bit of him in the way you talk, Gregor. Come on, I don't sound as old as he does, do I? Puff. Moses, who had been quietly observing as Gregor and his former co-worker chatted, exhaled a light stream of smoke and slowly began to speak. Many of us who returned from the war seem to suffer from a certain misconception. When we are told to remember, it does not mean we are bidden to live through the nightmare of the past over and over again. We are not being cursed to relive the pain and suffer in it. Both Ezra and I, we are both still trying to be free of the misconception we inflicted on ourselves. It's not like I remember because I want to. Well, if you can't bring yourself to forget them, might as well include in your memory the fact that the war has indeed ended. Huh. Fine. You're not wrong there. Gregor stared at his right arm for a while, quietly contemplating. Oi, manager bud. Can't say I can give you any reassurance, but just going on my life seems to be the best answer for now. I want to ask if you're okay with that, though. I'll manage, but it's you who's going to have to deal with the aftermath. Gregor would always say the same to those suffering from the cruelty inherent in living. Still live on. Just live on. Yet even as his lips spoke those words, his eyes would take on a desperate and unfocused look, shaded beneath despair. Today, though, that gloomy gray seemed to give way to just a hint of a blue sky beyond. This may be no more than a single ray of sun peering through the dark clouds that have long suffocated the sky. It would probably take much more than this for the shadows to be fully lifted. But don't you worry, I'll be fine. I am the main protagonist of this game after all. It's a big step forward for him to have addressed even a little bit of that persistent anxiety from his past. When we emerged from the door, we saw Otis facing away from us, her weapon drawn. Wait, I don't even think she followed us through the door. Huh? Were you here the entire time? Yes, I was told by that Alan figure that someone has to stay behind and watch the door during these operations. So I stayed, and yeah, well, we're in trouble now. Oh man, it's those asshats again. Weird. The corridor's not a place for those newbies to be roaming around on their own. As you can see, a few uninvited guests have decided to visit us through a different door. I look past Otis just in time to see a Morphalvis powering through the corridor through a different back door. They must be trying to find a way to get to the Ring Nurse Father's corridor. Well, we can't just let them through, can we? Kill them all! The bus must feed. Well, you all know how this ends.
하루 100초만 기다려.
How much does it? Oh man, I don't even have enough. Give me Mersault! We're going to the basement. Oh, I don't even... Okay, I don't like where this is going, but you know, I'm ready for anything. Corridor of the Index Nurse Father. Once we dealt with the Falvis who invaded the Thumb Nurse Father's destroyed corridor, we left for the Indexes and ran into a few familiar faces waiting for us at our destination. Huh? Don't you guys have today off? Yeah, but I thought I might as well come along. It's, you know, you keep summoning us while we're in the middle of something, so I decided that it might actually be more convenient for us to be with you in person. Your summoning occurred at the most unideal moment. Yeah, this is what I've been talking about. He was just researching and then he just keeps going in and out of consciousness. Now, I know you weren't doing it on purpose, but all 3 times you summoned me, I was leaning over snacks tot with a bunch of whipped cream. Today, I learned that blacking out and waking up to a me-shaped incident in a cake I was about to chow down doesn't make for a very relaxing break. Sorry about that. I should have checked in with you guys before summoning, but I'm still getting used to it. Okay, now you're being too sorry. No hard feelings, you know? I'm tagging along because I need some exercise, that's all. I appreciate the additional employee assignments. Now if you could share any information you know about yet another corridor. I hang out here all the time, so I know this place a little. There was this super clingy, annoying little... no. That wasn't the masked dude. There's this other, Is there something you don't remember? Oh right, Kira doesn't remember Sora. Sora? I don't think that name rings any bells for us either. Is that someone who used to live here? Yeah, well, Sora was the Index apprentice, so she probably lived here. Forsooth, the Index apprentice. Whew, pray tell, wherefore is it that the middle, the thumb, the ring each have apprentices, yet the Index and the pinky lack them? It would indeed be quite odd if a mere 3 of the 5 fingers kept an apprentice each. Retrace I might my recollections, yet I find it like following a trail of odorless air, invisible and unreal. Oh right. They were erased from existence, if I remember correctly. They were erased from this entire reality. They were Catherined, but by the sword, not by the golden bow. Yeah, that's why people don't remember. No. There was someone, but I can't. The representations of the Pinky and the Index apprentices are missing. No, to be more precise, a merciless blade has shredded and reduced them into intangible formlessness. How refreshing to hear that the same impression from someone else rather than myself for once. As it seemed that I was the only one who remembered the 2 apprentices, I retraced back to our first meeting and briefly shared what I knew about Sora. She doesn't sound like a very forgettable character. Well, the Irayashiki cut her into ribbons.
That would explain why it feels as though I'm recalling a sequence of events, with the critical part missing in between. I can almost imagine her, giggling to herself like a creepy loner, and she probably wears glasses too, right? Like those gloomy introverts from anime. I see. So that's why it feels like I'm tearing through each strand of a weave. Ryoshu? Let's say the world's made of strings or threads, clock. With every slash, this braid would be cutting through the flow of strands that twine to compose one's existence. When an object is severed forever beyond repair, you'd think neither trace nor shape would be left of it. Woof, woof, okay. But now that you've pieced some of it together, it's almost. Instead of elaborating further, Ryoshu fell silent again, save for the sound of the tip of her cigarette turning to ash, like she was recalling yet another incomplete memory. I guess she's trying to avoid over speculating on what she doesn't know for sure. And I just disappeared like that. Just like the index and the Pinky Apprentice. Just gone. Damn, that totally breaks the meta. I had a vague idea of how it works, but this is the first time I'm hearing the deets. Papa had to go through 4 ramp-up stages and remove seals to even make full use of his sword. Honestly, yours needs a trade-off. Your sword totally power creeps Papa's. T.O.? There's plenty already. Oh, so true. Because slicing your memories away is one hell of a trade-off. Sorry. Okay, so I'm guessing you don't have anything to contribute to this for this corridor. I've got one. I don't know where it leads, but the index guy used it all the time. Hopefully it doesn't drop us into an army of indexes. TPU. They rarely gather in big groups. She said that's pretty unlikely. Oh. What's that for, Ryoshu? Wait, did you just hit me with that sword handle? Huh? I didn't do anything. But I saw it. I saw Ryoshu's scabbard, Araya, suddenly jerking to the side, prodding Sinclair like it was annoyed by something. It won't be STS. I'll SYLC until you can barely walk. Wait, what? Hold on. I won't STS. I'll slice your... What? LC? Until you can barely walk. Slander? What? I swear this isn't slander or whatever. Look, you poked me so hard it left a mark on my arm here. Araya's jealous. Aw. He was the original surrogate. Oh, whoops, my bad. Well, I don't want to read too much into it, but the scabbard was ratting like it was irritated by something. Stop interpreting for her. This is why she won't stop making up those nonsense acronyms. He's making it worse. I gotta stop him from translating for her somehow. Araya? Wait, that voice, just now. It sounded a lot like Araya's. Dante, you saw that too, right? Ryoshu didn't do anything. Wait, really? It really wasn't her? Nope. Heh, then it's decided. To be fair to Sinclair, no one else but I saw in full detail how the scabbard came to be. Which means that he couldn't imagine in his wildest dreams that the scabbard poked him of its own volition. So we can read Araya's mind, or hear her, but, as a disembodied voice. It doesn't seem like any of the sinners heard that voice either, so it's just a private message, I guess. Damn, you guys bully him a lot, huh? Well, that's been long overdue for a little smack upside his noggin. We should head inside. Let's not keep Alan waiting. Kira directed us towards an almost disturbingly normal wooden door, so featureless that I could have mistaken it for one of the dozen doors we'd walked past in other nests. We were greeted by a whiff of stale, musty air the moment we walked through the door. Oh, a dungeon somewhere. That's not very welcoming. I think this leads to a basement, and emerged to what appeared to be an almost dungeon-like basement area. Whatever the masked unk's beeper rang, he'd walk through this door. So, who are they? The Index. Oh, okay. Do we have to fight them? Are there beepers telling us to fight? Signs of life. There were people living down here. Up until just a few hours ago.
Why are you here, paper slips? We were only executing the prescript. I've had it with these prescripts, though at least yours don't make annoying beeps. The basement was stocked up with shelf-stable and non-perishable food, and the cells were all completely empty save for what looked like a makeshift bathroom in each of them. It is likely that this dungeon was used to imprison individuals of varying features that may be required to complete a prescript. Seriously? This room seems to have been used for something worse than simple incarceration. Among Faust's conjectures is that the captives were conditioned in body and mind in various ways to match the prescript's liking. Ugh. Sounds like that guy was just as crazy as the rest of them. Wait. That staircase right there leads up. Let's check out what's... oh, okay. Friggin' annoying, man. What the heck are you doing? You cannot enter through this door. Oh, I see. Another griefer body blocking in the doorway. Move. I need to see something. The wheel of the prescript forbids you. You cannot enter through this door. Then you shall die protecting it. What do we do? Is it worth forcing our way in there? They seem pretty adamant about not letting us in. I'd prefer if we stayed as far as possible from anything that has to do with the gods. I mean, prescripts. But nothing in this basement gives me any indication as to where the door connects to. Oh, this is right. We're gonna have to get upstairs somehow if we want to get an idea of where this door leads. If Rian's been using this basement, then I'd rather like to see what's upstairs. Honestly, learning that this door connects to some basement is more than enough intel to cross it off the list. Still, if this has anything to do with Ryoshu's memories... Alright then, let's push through. Executing your command, Executive Manager. The will of the prescript is absolute. And your death is also absolute. Is it though? We ball! Rian's dungeon. Fast. What's up there? You may speak to me casually, Araya, but... in the presence of other apprentices, perhaps you should find it preferable to mimic the tone of the Dihui star. Come on, it's not like I wanted to be the Dihui star. Just let me do whatever I want while I'm here. Certainly, you have a point. Yeah, well... you did kind of force her into it. By making... she had to make a deal with the devil. So what's up there? Up the stairs? I'm not sure myself. I've never been upstairs. Aren't you even a little curious? Why bother peeling back the heavens to see what is beyond? Those wanting of yearning didn't raise their heads skyward. Am I seeing Araya's memories? Clock, what did you see? I'm not sure, but now we've got another reason to check what's upstairs. Honestly, it could just be some giant sex party upstairs for all we know, right? Here comes the firing squad! Oh, Rian's home. Kind of a letdown when they were body blocking the door like there was some big secret behind it. Right? Looks just like any other average family home. Oh man, I get cleanings up a chore, but people should at least dust their home once in a while. The thick layer of dust covering every surface and the blotchy wallpaper made it clear that no one's been living here for a good while. Whichever family lived here must have had a child. Look, there are drawings, and dolls too. Though it seems like this place has been abandoned for quite a long time. Could something bad have happened here? Yeah, something must have happened here that caused the family to flee. They never got to return. Looks like they never got the pack either. Yeah, lots of evidence suggesting that the open door, the single shoe just lying around. So someone fled from home for a reason, never to return. I don't know. It's kind of hard to narrow down the cause. It really could have been anything.
No, it could have been the prescript.
You know when Rien said along the line, I think it was Rien, where he said if the prescript tells you to make a family of like, make a family like 5 years, then you'll do it. But then if the prescript tells you to kill your family in cold blood and then flee or leave them, never to see them again, then you also have to do it. So
I don't know. It seems completely plausible. Are you searching for something in particular, Ryoshu? Yes, but it doesn't seem to be here. Every framed photo is singed beyond recognition. And whatever documents that were... Oh, fuck. And whatever documents there were have been torn to shreds. Kinda like my memories. So this wasn't where he escaped to, huh? The index nurse father, Rien. The last time we saw him, he fled the house via a corridor after suffering a severe wound at Ryoshu's hand. And by some miracle he survived. And he did. There's a chance he'd come after Ryoshu again, but something about our last encounter led me to believe that it was the last time Ryoshu would ever see him. This is... Do you recognize this drawing? I find myself hoping to see Ryoshu piece together another memory. She'd been recalling new details all day whenever something caught her attention. Sadly, she responded by softly shaking her head. No, I don't. Oh, wait, I have enough! Merceau, come to me!
기능보다 소재의 원본을 드러내는 방향으로 겉면의 결착 염색 방식은 성경으로 보일 수 있게. 예, 피드백에 따라 결점을 보완하겠습니다.
There we go.
도슨트님.
I really like his outfit here. Oh no! Clear stage. Oh no! It's so over.
주먹으로
지령이 가리키는 곳으로.
There we go. After leaving Rian's quarters, we explored the Index's corridor for a while. Corridor of the Pinky Nurse Father. But didn't find anything that could help piece Ryoshu's memories back together. Great work. Now that leaves just the Pinky Nurse Father's corridor. But that room didn't have any back doors for us to explore. There were countless more in the adjacent corridor, but our guideline makes it a bit difficult to delve into each and every one of them right away. Which means our work here is done. Thank you for assistance, Dante. Okay, glad we could help. Dante replies that they're happy to have been of assistance. Well then, it's been a pleasure. After a brief round of handshakes, Alan returned to the forward base. We probably should have done the same, but... Want to take a look around here anyway? Sure. As we had more business here than simply checking the doors, we decided to stay a little longer and investigate the Pinky's corridor. The Pinky Nurse Father's room had a particular structure. Each door we opened led to a room identical in shape to the previous one. Even though I was certain we'd traversed through quite a few rooms, we somehow found ourselves back at the starting point. There are some small design differences between each room that help to tell them apart, but it's difficult to tell which is which unless we really look hard at every detail. Where are we now? The kitchen? How do you know that? I've been here before. Someone ghosted me after promising to watch Fixer clips together, so I thought I'd come and visit. It's someone you'll have to meet too, I think. It was, the Pinky apprentice. Must be another one who was severed by the Arayashiki. Damn, you might be right. His name was Ren, the Pinky apprentice. I tech-talked, but no one here really seemed to have anything to say to that. I suppose that only makes sense after all. His existence registered to no one here but me. So when you said back at K-Corp that you'd cooked before, you were talking about this, huh? Yep. I used to perform intense culinary artistry here. Your scabbard's shaking. The reviews were glowing. One of them was YUM, meaning yeah, unbelievably mouth-watering. The scabbard, Araya, was defiantly shaking from side to side in a valiant effort to deny Ryoshi's claim. Must have been pretty damn bad, huh? I'm having a hard time believing her if you ask me. What did you usually make? Boxed lunch? Boxed lunch that kids might bring to grade school with sausage cut like octopuses and tamagoyaki. A bit simple to be intense culinary artistry, don't you think? IF. Didn't you know? There's nothing like a school lunchbox rivalry. Still believe in that? So I want octopus, sausage, tamagoyaki, and... Why are we making sausages out of an octopus? No, I mean sausages cut like octopuses. Why are we cutting sausages into octopus shapes? It adorbs, that's why. Oh, something like this. Huh, what's that? Sausage carved into an octopus shape. Didn't miss a single suction cup. Come on, I didn't mean it like that. A real life octopus. It's gotta be adorbs, okay? Isn't it all DSD once it goes down the gullet? Why is this so important? But mommy, there's nothing like a school lunchbox rivalry. I don't understand. Huh? You're doing your weird acronyms again, aren't you? It means I don't understand. That's when you say I don't know, mom. SMH? No! No, don't say that! SMH! These must be some of the happiest memories Yoshi and Araya shared. The sinners, me and Araya, even as a scabbard, could imagine or recall them in full. But for Ryoshu, the most important part of those memories remained sliced away. Still, if we can continue to piece more and more of our memories together by going over these places. Do you want to check out what's upstairs too? As soon as I asked, however, the sinner's footsteps came to a simultaneous stop. Wait. Hang on, Clockhead. Don't open the door just yet. I looked back and found Kira and Heathcliff poised to fight, hands on their weapons. This way, manager. And Merceau, who realized what that indicated, he yanked me to the back of the line, and in mere moments. So there was something guiding those whelps. Figured they'd send more than fodder to the House of Spiders. Stinks of wet dog. The claws of a massive paw slashed through where we had just been standing. Oh, it's the I don't know what the title is. The Dulce something. The rank above Merceau's ID. It really is, as Maestro Emil Benoit said. This place is already occupied. If you would be so kind as to help me with directions. Is this where Master Callisto's art is located? The question came from a woman who appeared from one of the doors that led to a different corridor. She was wearing a wolf mask, and unlike the Fauvists we had encountered thus far, she seemed to make it a point to speak and act with decorum. But the subtle hint of violence in her voice quickly betrayed this air of foul civility. Sure you're at the right address, lady? Robo-Unk's stuff ain't parked in this house. Find a different corridor. Yes, I am aware. But I'm not here looking for his creations, which are easily mistaken for mass-produced garbage. I could feel her intense gaze even though her face was obscured by the mask, and there was no doubt that her eyes were bearing down on Ryoshu. Suddenly, I was reminded of what Rien said moments before he fled through the corridor. We'll let them observe us too freely. What? What is that? The Fauvis got to confirm a lot of important intel, including the fact that the House of Spiders has fallen, and that Ryoshu currently has the possession of the Arayashiki. They want Ryoshu for themselves, whether she's completed or not. Ryoshu as she is now. Isn't that intriguing for once? My name is Rufo. Yoshide. Oh, mama. Mabuhay, fine shit. Yoshide, the blade coveted by the Five Fingers. Master Callisto's final and posthumous masterpiece. As a docent of Fauvism, please allow me the honor of escorting you to our gallery. Do I want to? Don't see the point in hanging out with people in those unesthetic AM. As expected, Ryoshi declined Rufus' request with a curt reply, and the riot too rattled angrily in the docent's general direction. Then I'm afraid my only remaining option is to rely on our usual method of ushering. How are our odds? I don't know. She's probably tougher than me at my maxed out stats. Really? The shape of her ring suggests that she is a docent of the school of Fauvism. Her position is comparable to that of a capo of the thumb, or a big sibling of the middle. Verily, that maketh her a foe who may surpass even Ricardo's might, or, with a stroke of ill fortune, even Lei Heng. Doubt she's anywhere near as strong as Lei Heng. Our chances are HOHOM. Half or more. I like those odds. Half of half or more. Dude, really? Outmoded has-been. Why seek out art of a has-been after all this time? It was a decision met with confusion from the outset. To entrust such a momentous project in the hands of one such as Callisto. Why, everyone agrees that there is no less foolish than casting a pearl before swine. And they were quite on point with that assessment. His recovered from the house were more tools than art, the sort that the likes of a workshop meisters might assemble. No self-respecting maestro would create such mundanities and call them art. Now I must ask for your forgiveness for presuming that you would be no different from the rest of his work. But what I observed above this room completely changed my perspective. The scorched corridor, the ferocity with which you've scarred the walls and the floor, as though a frenzied beast had torn through them. There is but one tool that could possibly have left such marks behind. At least you got a passable eye for art. Yoshihide, I ask you, have you ever considered pursuing art of a further elevated beauty? It'll be an experience that departs from the dilapidated remnant that dubs itself corporism, a movement so constrained by its obsession over the human corpus that, once it had depleted all meaning it had to offer, it began piling on empty definitions onto itself. Fauvism is a movement that has broken from the traditional mold. Unfettered like a beast that roams free, we dare ourselves to ask questions that challenge the mind. What is man? What are things? What does it mean to trace... Wait. What? It's I was wondering why it was a cut. To trace the origin. How do we define that which we call le fauve, wild beast? These are the subject matters that have led to us fauves into the field of fertile creativity. Should you, a wielder of that relic, enter the fold of our movement, it will layer your work with such an unrelenting spectrum of colors that it will be destined to leave an unforgettable impression in the annals of history. In other words, what we can offer you will be of much greater worth than what you may have learned from a teacher like Callisto. Never considered him my teacher. Not a real one, anyway. Finding beauty amongst the carnage of blood and flesh is a lesson I learned on my own. And yes, I know enough about your movement. Maybe I considered some of your works created by your school acceptable, at least among the rings art, or not, I can't remember. Then will you? But I don't know. I don't know what makes your art more elevated
than the one I pursue. The one you pursue. Didn't the sight you claim to have seen clue you in? Oh, it did. I do understand. Your art may appear to be no more than unchecked chaos at a glance, but upon closer observation, it reveals a fierce, dominant force that threads the entire scene together with its keenness as the connecting suture. Your blade work, too, shows such multi-layeredness. Mere keenness often entails mundanity, yet you have transcended such a limit by scorching the tail end of each stash. Truly a unique aesthetic sense. I believe I've sufficiently understood the extent of your artistic merit imbued in that scene.
No, you did not. Lesser painters like you are such mediocrites that they fail to recognize the beauty in what lies in the grotesque. They do little beyond painting the hell reflected in their eyes and call that shallowness hell's beauty. The sorrow condensed into a cry held in an instant, wrath unbound from the yoke of reason, the fading gleam of despair in the hewn.
You give no insight to what each of those emotions signifies, instead obsessing over the cursory qualities of what is beheld. Let me teach you otherwise. Pay attention, because I won't afford you another long-winded lesson. Ryoshu readied her scabbard. Pointillists, Fauvists, Suprematists, Blue Raiters, Cubists. I've visited my share of the Ring's galleries, heard their commentaries, but none of them were to my liking. Your art is an overcomplicated pile of definitions buried under symbols, caked in patchworks of empty shells. You and your art both talk too damn much. Just like Callisto's, kept trying to take from other movements, forcing meaning where there was none. Excess is easy, anyone can do it. What's beyond most is making it succinct, the art of abbreviation. Alas, if all is one by one abbreviated away, nothing remains in its absence, making the void left behind completely bereft of meaning. No, the void is what remains, and it holds things that can't be found anywhere else. What is this? A minimalist manifesto? No, my aesthetics go beyond the pursuit of simplicity. I pursue the natural germination of artistic immaculacy, a state of perfection wherein further abbreviations is an impossibility. Sangria. she does not understand that. A bit abstract, isn't it? Too removed, too plain, with a distinct lack of any meaningful striking qualities. What exactly is it that elevates your art above that of Fauvism? Painters. We're the stubborn sort that mere words can't convince. Indeed, there is no discipline more subjective than that of art. Discourse concerning its nature may extend for days on end, but it will not change the fact that unseen arts are meaningless, pretentious illustrations at the end of the day. Then I suppose I'll carve it right into your eyes. Please do, though I'm afraid it may be overshadowed by the sheer vibrancy of my aesthetics. I, of the docent of Le Fauvism, shall personally welcome you to my critique session. Well, we're gonna kill this bitch. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, right? There's this button right here. I'm gonna press it and let it ride. There we go. Thank you, Princess Rhodey. Oh, finally.
완벽하게 수행되었지
Yep,
않은가.
he did most of the work.
하지만 아직 기약은 없구려. 그렇다면 여전히
Oh, we're near the end. Here we go.
아무것도
Good memories.
인가.
Gah! See? You're already looking much better with those superfluous animal parts removed. You're serious about founding your own movement. I already answered that. But you'll need time under the Fauvist's wing, at least until you can fully cultivate your movement. Perhaps. I don't suppose words have any meaning now. The docent raised her giant arm as though to strike in her final act of defiance, then slammed it down on the door we entered through instead. All I can do is buy time for. Mid sentence, the docent suddenly went limp like a marionette whose strings were cut. Dead. And here I thought at least her last words were going to be succinct. Ah, thus we made foes with yet another finger, the ring. Let's not doom and gloom already, fellas. We beat an officer of the fingers all on our own for the first time, didn't we? I see this as a pretty definite win. All on your own, huh? Come on, bro. I was fighting my ass off out there. Herr Gregor has a point. The outcome of this battle would not have changed by a significant margin, even if you had not been here, Kira. This is more like it. Won't have to freak out over a mere BB, Big Brother, anymore, long as we're with Clock. Ha! Don't start congratulating yourselves for achieving the bare minimum. Those who celebrate over so small an occasion don't deserve to stand beside the executive man. Well, I guess this isn't impressive at all to people who used to be much stronger, like Otis or Don Quixote. Prithee, speak not of such folly, for the joy of my compatriots is mine own. Have you any inkling as to why she might have, in her final moments, elected to demolish the door? Right? It's not like we have a shortage of doors here. Are we really debating the logical thought process of someone who was 2 seconds away from dropping dead? Come on. Let's get out of here so we can bring everyone else up to date. Didn't I just leave this room? Ishmael walked through the door we'd entered through and appeared from behind us. Oh no. It's one of these Scooby-Doo ass doors. Oh shit, where'd the exit go? Don't tell me. The exit changes every time someone walks through it. No, can't be that easy. I am barred from enjoying the fresh air of the world outside. No longer free to travel the mountains and cliffs as my feet would carry me, as the other members of the Pinky are. I wish to no avail that I should be allowed to weave the delineations of wings and back streets. Ha. So this is what she meant. The back door through which we traversed is a passage to the corridor of the one called the Index Nurse Father. Cross the broken door we might, however, it avails us but a brief jaunt to the Pinky Nurse Father's azure corridor before it returns us to this room. Rooms now locked in a loop without a starting point. Won't matter what door we open. Is there anything we could do? A rescue team will arrive in time. As this location adheres to the regular flow of time, unlike the warp trains, it'll be approximately between a week or two from the present before we can return. That's pretty long. Well, the first problem we're going to have to deal with is food. As far as I'm aware, we should be good to go for at least 3 days, thanks Rhodia. So let's... I didn't bring any snacks. It's not like we were here to walk into... What? It's not like we were about to walk into one of the L-Corp branches or a dungeon, so... Yeah, makes sense. Looks like we're gonna have to give this room a thorough search then. Huh. No need. If there's no exit, we cut open our own. What about the part where it cuts into your memories too? Deal with that yet? No. The sword. It cleaves my memories with every slash. Don't know what memory it'll slice away this time, but it'll be something recent. Or one I hold dear. Oi, wait! Don't be so bloody rash about it. Other than me, no one but Heathcliff still remembers the person he holds in the loving depths of his heart. Ever since the day of the Sepia Tempest, Memory took on a special, precious meaning to Heathcliff. Heathcliff suddenly reached out and grabbed Ryoshu's arm. Though Ryoshu and Heathcliff's circumstances were undoubtedly different from each other, it was clear that Ryoshu's reckless attitude towards sacrificing her own memories triggered a sort of anxiety in Heathcliff. What? Didn't you hear? Them nerds will be here in a week or two to get us out. Why don't we just keep that sword nicely in that scabbard and wait it out? The radio doesn't work. What if we went to the rooftop and entered one of those doors up there? There are thousands of them. Out of the question. Doing so will be putting ourselves at an even greater risk than of casting ourselves into an endless maze that is the corridor. Okay, but we're dead meat if that brick wall of a maestro wanders right into this room. That wolf lady's last words. Man, I'm seeing the flags. It's a hella risky move. Yeah, but I think Yoshidi and her OP sword is our best bet. Right. But what if we got lucky and they find us in a day or two? Quit freaking out, Heathcliff. It will only be forgotten, not lost. Well, good memories don't tend to last very long. It's been a fun excursion, Clock. I looked towards the scabbard, expecting it to rattle violently as it did earlier, but it remained still. The white blade soon reveals itself, and cuts across the wall where the door used to be. And naturally, as the Arayashiki blade cleaves through the wall, so it does Ryoshu's memories.
Well, we could have waited a day or two. Come on. Oh, we were really getting somewhere.
The thin strands of Araya's image, which had just begun to coalesce, slowly unraveled and fell apart once again. Even still, Araya released the blade without hesitation. But it's okay. We'll try again, so... Conveying no resentment, no hatred, but a few words of consolation. Don't feel too bad. As her voice faded into the gentle dark with Ryoshu's memories. Welcome back. Question. What exactly was the point of verifying every back door within the House of Spiders? Oh, Hohenheim didn't fill you in? Any information regarding these doors holds an enormous value for us, not to mention the higher-ups requesting us to reorganize the House of Spiders into a base of operations as soon as possible, even if we had to rush our work a little. Only speculating here, but I'm quite convinced that they're preparing for a conflict of sorts. These little pockets of absolute safety are extremely valuable during these operations, as you already know. Wait, stop right there. What? What conflict? What operation? What are you saying, that your bosses are preparing for a war or something? I feel like there isn't enough alarm in his voice, considering what he's saying. Preparing for what? Not even trying to hide it anymore, huh? Did I say anything wrong? Must you ask to know? I thought everybody already knew. I mean, it's an open secret at this point. L Corp has already fallen. W Corp is teetering on the brink of collapse. You call us the aspirant W Corp. We call Limbus Company the aspirant L Corp. Meaning, we have a shared goal. But unlike the dead and gone L Corp, the current W Corp is still kicking, despite its rapid decline in recent years. And as we all know, companies in the city aren't worth much unless they've got the military force to back them up, right? It's only natural that a business conflict would lead to a physical one as well. This is just a mere team leader speaking though. Who knows what the higher-ups in our companies are thinking. Either way, much fruitful collaboration we had today. This will reflect pretty well in our performance metrics. And we didn't even have to suffer that many losses. I can safely say that you should expect a positive review from us regarding this collaboration. After saying our farewells to Alan, we returned to the forward base, and shared with Hohenheim everything that's happened so far. Hohenheim and Faust both did not seem willing to discuss the subject of the looming conflict, so instead decided to have Ryoshu's memory and sword re-examined. Oi, Hohenheim, results out yet? Not yet, assistant. I clearly remember telling you 3 minutes ago that it will take about 20 more minutes. Have you forgotten already? He talks too much. Ryoshu sounded irritated as she scolded Heathcliff, but I could sense the definite undercurrent of anxiety from the way she kept puffing her cigarettes to a stub at an increasingly shorter intervals. This room might be more smoke than oxygen at this point. Mind slowing it down a tad? You're practically fumigating the room with cigarette smoke. Then speed up, glasses. Gonna bounce as soon as I hear the results. Both of you need to learn to respect that things take time. Yes, time is indeed relative, but the fact that I have managed to complete an in-depth analysis of an item of such mystery in a single day is an incredibly fast turnaround and therefore deserves your appreciation. Pulls up, glasses. I have been attempting to rein in the more self-indulgent part of myself as of late, but I believe this achievement deserves to be elaborated upon. It is an evident truth that such a result could not have been replicatable had it not been for my genius brain. Go out to the hallways and grab my passing researchers and tell them about my incredible turnaround time, and you will hear them say, "Whoa, done already?" And to that I will answer, "Shut the fuck up." Evidently, tired of the two seniors alternating turns hounding him for results, Hohenheim seemed to speed up the analysis and managed to hit the finish line much earlier than 20 minutes. Whoa, done already? Yes. There are times when test results are extracted earlier than the predicted time frame. Yes. There are times when the test results are extracted earlier than the predicted time frame. Many of those instances are easily attributed to my genius at work. Then why aren't you saying anything? Give me the TR now. You did tell me to shut the fuck up. You did tell me to shut the fuck up, so I am attempting to observe the exact merits of doing precisely that. You think Yoshide would ever use known acronyms straight? What if it's something like, sheesh, that's a full day. Unwind after work, though. And your verdict on her interpretation? That is exactly what I meant. She's better at MTL in some ways. How she lies as she breathes. At that moment, I might have caught a glimpse of the scabbard rattling slightly atop the examination device, almost as though it were giggling. Very well, then I'll get right into it. First, the memory of the time she was complimented for... Uh-oh. Very well, then I'll get right into it. First, the memory of the time she was complimented for her cooking has been erased. Huh? That's it? Hardly. The second, a name has been erased from her memory. Do you recall the name of a man who works at the manager, Saud? Oh, I would have asked in the past tense had it been him who I was referring to. Glad Miss Saud wasn't here for that. That kid. Right, I don't remember his name. She forgot. Pilot's name? Oh, Pilot, yeah. She did. Among other miscellaneously deleted memories are 172 hours of Don Quixote's tales about of adventures and the types of food she's fed to a seagull. Honestly, not that big of a loss. not that big of a loss. Fee upon it. Dost thou say that the memories most precious to Ryoshu and me have been thrown into utter destruction? Look, Donkey, I'm not trying to be mean here, but that seems pretty acceptable, doesn't it? For the price of unsheathing a sword like that? If we're going by sheer volume, I wouldn't say its mileage is acceptable. It erased several days worth of memories just for a single swing, didn't it? I mean, yeah, but they kinda sound like inconsequential memories, don't they? Gred and Heath forget stuff all the time. How's this any different? The seemingly inconsequential nature of these particular memories weren't achieved by sheer luck. In fact, it seems to have been impacted by the scabbard of the Arayashiki, or to be more precise, the power of Araya's ego. That's so. Oh, Araya deflected the memories that were... Oh, she chose the memories to be erased, didn't she? So she just erased the ones that, need to be cleared anyway. Ryoshu looked down at the scabbard with an uncertain, hollow look in her eyes. All that remains of Araya in Ryoshu's recollection is a blank space where the fragments of her existence used to be, severed and removed again. While it takes a rather significant amount of time, the scabbard seems to be, yes, capable of selecting which of Sinner's Ryoshu's memories are to be erased as a cost of using Arayashiki. Oh, yeah. It's a good trade off. But sounds like I should be really grateful then. Yeah, you should. That's your daughter. But Ryoshu regards the scabbard with a conflicted look, as though to approximate the outlines of the void she left behind. Oh, so it's got like a cooldown timer? She can use it whenever as long as she gives it time to select the trivial memories? I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss them as trivial. The memory of the time when you were complimented for your cooking. It was quite a precious memory, wasn't it? You've performed an inverse calculation of the relic's cost. Yes. According to our measurements, the sword seems to factor in the weight of each memory when calculating the cost of wielding it. It becomes rather clear that it takes more than light memories to properly wield it. So have her memories been restored? As presumed, attempts to recall the erased being's existence have resulted in failure. That is quite discouraging. But not all is lost. Simply by knowing that something used to be in that negative space, many things can still be reminisced upon. Like Ryoshu said, forgotten but not lost. Clock. You just stepped foot into the world of sangria. She flashes the briefest of smiles, then scatters it away with a plume of cigarette smoke. Collecting the great brother was GB, great brother? Collecting the GB will restore it. What used to be here, in the pockets of void in my heart, my one and only. Ryoshu's gaze traced the invisible, the unperceivable. A few more days passed us by. We didn't spend those days idling. We visited South and Pilot in recovery. We did a few odd jobs here and there, like helping suppress a distortion containment breach caused by a new LCE hire, as you do. But with all those loose threads tied up, we managed to finally, after so long, kinda feels like we're home again. Return to the bus. Finally. Ah, bus, sweet bus. The chair could use a little more cushioning, but there isn't anything like it out there. Huh. Damn, this is your ride. Hella badass. It's just so cute. Between the two individuals, who were looking rather pleased at Kira's astonishment, Hohenheim squeezed through to warn us about some things to watch out for. I asked team leader Alan to set the coordinates somewhere as close as possible to the nest. Keep driving through the door. It'll bring you right to an empty spot on a highway. Don't hesitate or hit the brakes, because if by any chance there is a car driving behind you, it will crash into the bus. Nods. So what are you two doing here on the bus? Decided to join the better team, did you? I must admit to a certain degree of interest in hearing of your exploits. But to accompany you through them is an entirely different matter, isn't it? I'm only here to adjust your coordinates. Speaking of which, just how did you manage to escape your confinement? I told them I had some stuff to help you with, and they let me out after making me scribble over some docs. Solitary confinement's hella boring, so I thought I might get some air. Might as well say goodbye too, while I'm out and about, right? I see. You've exploited the fact that the new hires don't have any grudges against you. Though I told them to impress upon the new hires that prisoners are to be treated as exceptions to the... Alright. The person in charge of the training is currently checked into the long-term recovery ward. More problems stemming from the shortage of manpower. I'd best include this in the report. Sounds like they're both here to see us go. Well then, time for valediction, I suppose. Perhaps I've grown far too used to seeing your faces. Saying goodbyes doesn't come out as easily as I expected it to. Another day of reunion must await in the future. I would appreciate it if such a reunion had the low probability of occurring. While I am not very partial to the mathematical statistics, like the probability theory, I hope your prediction is dead right. Well then. Hey, Yoshide. Hmm? What? We're... I wouldn't say we're family exactly, but... Listen, there's a lot of stuff I want to say to you, and a lot of stuff I want to hear from you, okay? So... SYL. See you later. Did I do that right? Huh. Acronymize... Just L. Acronymize it into L. And call me Ryoshu, not Yoshide. Prefer the echoes of that name. After a round of goodbyes, the two disembarked from the bus, and no sooner had the machinery clicked into place than the bus's wheels finally began to turn, bringing us closer and closer towards a blindingly radiant portal massive enough to engulf the bus whole. Well, off to our next destination, I guess. Oh right, where are we headed next? Dante inquires about the next destination, Virgilius. Merceau! Now that's more like it. Been too bloody long since I heard that question. Yeah, don't get too excited. When has an answer to that question ever led us to anywhere that's not downright bizarre? Virgilius gave me a faint, knowing smile, as though to confirm Ishmael's pessimistic remark, then delivered a comment that sounded too light-hearted for its gravity. Downright bizarre, is it? Well, let me just say it's high time we face such a sight. Merceau. Our next destination is District 14. In other words, Manager Dante, we are now en route to N-Corp.
Poor Sinclair. And we gotta fight, or we gotta handle, like, with the Herman, them bitches, the traitors. So we are going to N-Corp after all.
Plenty of faces there I'd rather not see. Like your mom. As the rest of the sinners voiced their various gripes and discontent with N-Corp, Merceau... it's his time. Merceau, who probably had the most amount of history with the wing, simply flipped open his newspaper like usual and began reading it with the same unchanging expression. As though for him, none of this changed anything. Now departing, vroom vroom. And with that, the bus resumed its journey to yet another tale.
We're back at the bus.
Yeah, that was fun. We got to, well, first of all, we got to get more lore about, like, the fingers and Ryoshu. We didn't get much from Sinclair. I guess it was just bait. There wasn't a lot of Sinclair moments. There was a lot of Gregor moments. And to be honest, he really needed, like, an update. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. And we got to see Kira, too. Even though, you know, I was kind of half expecting that she would, you know, turn. But, yeah, well, that's another story for another day. But, yeah, that was fun. And they even had, like, a heart-to-heart together, you know. Not exactly as family, not by blood, but, you know, they were still related to each other from the same, like, trauma house. But, yeah, I can't wait for the next Canto, which is gonna come out in August, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, excited for that. And obviously, expect that to be an upload when it does come out. Hey gang, it's taking me a while to edit the video. And then the next Thursday came around and this came up. Reflectrial. So apparently there's a raid boss, like, mechanic now where we have to fight Rufo. I already did one, the normal version. I already got it. 18 turns or less, that's Epstein numbers. So yeah, we're gonna be trying to clear the hard one, but I don't really have the ring IDs. There's this one guy that I watched. He did it in like 10 turns, hard mode. And it just came out. It just literally came out. How many hours? This was yesterday. This was a day ago. God damn. It's not that deep. Well, regardless, we're gonna try and do it. Okay, for once in my life, I will not be win rating this time. Okay, so from what I've gathered, from normal, you're supposed to not feed her clashes. So you can't be a bot. I just woke up and then there's this new thing in Limbus company that my friends are talking about. Like, bruh, there's this new like raid boss mechanic thing where you have to fight Rufo to find shit from earlier. And here I am in a groggy state. I literally just woke up. But yeah, let's see if we can clear this for breakfast. Cause me and my brothers, yeah, I'm usually don't cook. So if I don't clear this in like what 20 turns, then everybody's gonna starve. These little shits, these come out of the woodwork like termites. They come to protect her. So you're gonna have to you're gonna have to like, you know, take care of business. We just need to get her alone is the problem. Fine, as long as they don't die. As long as Manager Dawn doesn't die, then we're good. We're gonna need some backup. Good thing I have this. Alright, alright. Papa needs new IDs. Give me Callisto, give me Albino, or give me death. We gamble. Yeah. Oh, index. Index done. Well, not the person I was expecting, but you know. Alright. Alright, big money. Give me Falbina. Falbina. Or Callisto, whichever one. Please! Oh my god. You know, why not? Don't give me the one that I want. Thank you, Project Moon. Okay, new toys. How do I play you? All I know from Rhodey and Merceau's kit, from how I used Merceau, you just have to spread around the rouge and I guess now the blue. Basically the paint, the claw marks. You just have to spread it around like contempt and awe. Spread it like the plague. Spread it like an STD. Merceau, win. Yes, manager. Pow. Pow. Oh. Oh, I think Rhodey transformed. Yeah. I don't even know their conditions for transforming. Like, what the hell? Why is Faust aura farming over there? Why is she aura farming like that? I don't get it. This is the first time I'm using you. That's my Yisang. Wait, is it closing time? Oh, it's closing time. I've seen the skill before. See it, let's see it, let's see it. Bow. Ah. Kill that guy already.
이제야 친해졌네요. 정렬.
What? How are you not dead yet? Oh, there we go. I have 20-ish turns. I'll be fine. Let's keep playing with this team. But I do know we have to end it at like 12 turns. You know what? No, it's okay. Quit battle, save progress. They did good. I'm gonna use my sinking team next. Alright, round 2, you dog bitch. Who doesn't have... What the hell? Does everybody have a mark? You don't. Like... Can you get on that? Okay, there we go. Just about. Holy, just about. Thank you, Lifetimes 2. This reminds me of the time that I clutched the Blood Fiend trio with Soda Ryoshu. It was so funny. Then Gudao and Takayoshi, I told it to them and couldn't believe me. They said bullshit.
예측할 수 없게.
Oh my god. Okay. Calm down, Don. Calm down. Whoa, girl. Ishmael, go. Ego. The Arknight's ego that I spent so long to get. How? Kozan, give it to her. Yeah! 90 damage. Come on. You can do better than that, girl. You almost beat me, but I beat you by just one. Try harder. Who doesn't have talent? Yisang doesn't. Oh, okay. Well, that fixed that. Okay. We're good. Guess we're winning now.
지령에 따라 참견.
How? Yep, before he dies, he's gonna give everybody protection. It's alright, we got Otis. Butler Otis in back. So she'll come around and give echoes to the manor. Yep, there he goes. Unless Heathcliff gives him a revive. Nope, never mind.
죽는 것도 사는 것도
Okay, just a little more.
두렵지 않습니다.
Just a little more. We're making good time. But we just need a little bit more. And I'm Kozan. It's my Kozan turn.
손끝이라도 되려는 자가 있어.
It's okay. Dawn dies. It's okay. We're near. We're so close. We're so close. Keep going. We are so close. Keep going. I'm almost close. It's just 500. We can do 500. Kozan can do the 500.
충족. 지령이 이끄는 대로.
Okay.
죽으라는 지령은
Okay. That's fine.
그렇다면
We have more units on the way. It's okay.
의지.
If we ever go beyond this turn. Okay, that's kind of bad. Ryosho was my big player. But here it is. Kozan. It's Kozan.
시간이.
What? What? Really?
소감자를 고기 조각으로 만들어 봐야
Dang.
당신만 괴로울
I like how Rodion despaired and immediately targeted
익숙해진 것
Claire.
아닙니까?
Immediate targeting, by the way. Immediately targeted the twink. I would too, to be honest.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지요.
Go, Merso, go! Merceau, win this fight for me.
것이
Yes, manager.
넌 반드시 부서진다.
Ah! Okay.
야호. 이기는 편.
Alright,
우리 편.
alright. We're good. We're good. We get to fight for another day. One day more. What else think they're gonna do?
이 땅과 만임에 손끝이라도 재려는 자가 있다. 3월
Come on, so close. $200. 200. Her health is just that like that of any other mob. Come on. Oh, stagger.
일지에서 도피하지
Oh my
마라.
god. Never in a million years would I ever expected this battle to end with Berceau. Actually saved us the game. Oh my god. Well, you know, Merceau, you give him a task and he does it. Yeah, look at that, 20 turns. Okay, nice. He got me my rewards. Yippee! Okay, so that's gonna end it for this intervalo. Yeah. Surprise jump scare. There was this extra content, right? So yeah, ingat. Don't do something that you regret, and see you next time.